Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. We're joined, of course, by Paul Corona, our contributor, who is the author of Healing the Mind and Body. We're going to talk about the body. We've spent months now talking about the mind. We've neglected our body, and that's probably because I hate exercise. If we exercise the body, does the brain get exercised as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, exercise is probably the healthiest thing a person can do because it relaxes. It helps to relax the mind, and that's why there's probably one of the best stress relievers is just going out and exercising.
And I know you do a lot of walking. Is just basic walking okay?
Yeah, if you, I do cardio walking, so I do a brisk about a 3-mile walk every morning, and yeah, it's after about 40-45 minutes of that, I know I've exercised. That's for sure.
I'll bet. The other day, I had a friend out, and he wanted to go into the Santa Monica Mountains, and he said, "Let's go for a hike." And I said, "You're crazy." He goes, "No, let's go for a hike." So he dragged me out, and he had a pedometer. I went 4 miles in about an hour. Which is and up in the Santa Monica Mountains, it's up and down. It was rough terrain. I stopped a little bit, and we had a break. We went to what used to be a waterfall when we had water here in Southern California. But I have to tell you, Paul, I had a great night's sleep, and I really need to do that more often. I'm just afraid of rattlesnakes and going back there by me. Daryl, will you go with me?
Right.
To what? Kill the snakes?
Yeah.
You want me to go ahead?
You have to. I'll walk behind you.
Yeah, by about 10 paces.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 2 snake lengths away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
Signs all over the park. Beware of rattlesnakes. But exercise is a good thing. What about how else can we take care of our body so that mind-body connection works better?
Well, anything that helps us to relax, there's a lot of, like with yoga and meditation are very good. Just learning how to breathe, learning how to just slow the mind down and relax does well too. But yeah, my books, Healing the Mind and Body, we talk a lot about the mind and the mental part, but the physical part is what really is originally what interested me into the subject. I started, I'm a family doctor. And I started seeing early in my career the connection between emotion and the body. And patients would come in stressed out, and they would have headaches, and their blood pressure would be higher. And I started seeing a lot of physical ailments associated with mood. And that's what really fascinated me early on in the 90s when I started. And I was fascinated with what caused that connection. And I explored it over the years.
What does cause that connection to break down?
Well, because of the fact that the brain, or what we call the mind or the brain, connects to every part of our body, and there's every piece and part of our body has nerve cells attached to it. So when we're under stress and when we're depressed and our body's hurt, people can relate to the fact that when they have a stressful day, they get a headache, or the top symptom I see is neck and shoulder and upper back and all the muscles up here that lead up to the head. That's probably the most common symptom I see. But so why is it that emotion causes our muscles to tense up? Because the brain and the nervous system attaches to the muscles.
When I get a massage, I like a deep massage, and I feel relaxed. Do you like it deep, or do you like a light massage when you get a massage, Dr. Paul?
A deep one. A
deep one. Okay. I know a lot of people who don't like to be touched like that. They find it stressful. It hurts, and I don't think massage is meant to be ultimately relaxing. They're breaking down that tense muscle, and over a day or two after that massage, you are more relaxed, and that's the way it works for me. On the other hand, if it's too, I had a massage, I don't know, last year sometime, and it was this man worked on me, and he, as if I were a pound of clay, and just beat the living daylights out of me. I mean, it was really strong. And I hurt. I was bruised. I was actually bruised. Can we as humans learn to relax physically without you mentioned without having to spend much time at it, for example? What should I plan to spend? I mean, you're walking, I think you said 3 miles a day in an hour. Is that what it takes you?
It takes about 45 minutes.
Right. So is that what I should plan every day, 7 days a week, minimum?
Well, that's what I do, but it depends on what works with your schedule. But, I think it doesn't have to be daily. It could be a few days a week, but it really actually needs to be planned. If it's not planned out or ahead of time, it doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, especially with me. And I know it's the worst thing, not working out, not exercising.
And then it takes, maybe 5-10 minutes to do breathing exercises. So if someone's at work and is stressed out at work and just wants to take a break, going out and taking a brisk walk, but also just sitting on the desk or going somewhere quiet and just doing deep breathing exercises. In my second book, chapter 3, it's called Managing Stress. And I go through detail with the help of my editor, Chuck. We go through very detailed relaxation and breathing techniques in that chapter.
And you can do that at your desk. So while I'm at work, I'm going to do that right now, and you can talk. I'm going to close. I guess I can't do that, right? But that makes sense that you can just take a few minutes, and decompress. What about naps? I'm not a real good napper. I do occasionally. My wife will take a 15-minute nap at lunchtime and finds it invigorating. Are you a nap proponent, or?
I'm jealous. I wish I could do that, but it sounds great. But yeah, if people can do like a 10-15 minute nap and be refreshed, I think that's great. I'm wondering if they're sleeping well at night if they need a nap, but I think it could be a healthy thing. It shows that the person can relax. That's for sure. Right,
exactly. On the other hand, if I take a 15-minute nap, it's an hour. I can't. And sleep comes to me. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so good. And so every day, with the pressure of everyday life, the stress, it varies. So I'm not sure what to do. If you have a regular or routine and you exercise Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, is that better than just haphazard exercise?
Yes, because people will find time to not exercise because when people get busy, if it's not planned ahead of time, we'll find something else to do. And if we leave exercise to too late in the day, it doesn't happen. So statistically, it's better to do it in the morning earlier if it can be done. But some people prefer doing it after work and on the way home, which that works too.
And now there are exercise facilities that are open 24/7.
Right.
They're not open 24/7?
You're talking about those 24-hour fitness?
Yeah.
No, they're not. They said that means you should be fit 24 hours, but they're not open 24 hours.
Oh, I thought they were open 24 hours.
No, it's an advertising
gimmick.
Gag.
Got it. But there are gyms. There's a gym near me and it's a chain, Anytime Gym, and you can go in at 2 in the morning. But you're the only one in there. That's what would bother me.
You can just see where the dumbbells around your neck going.
Yeah, that's it.
Help,
Exactly.
help.
You guys are picking on me again. But what about some people do exercise before going to sleep? I don't think I would like that because it would keep me awake. It's generally invigorating.
Right, and it's usually too stimulating. It's not advised to exercise too late at night. It's too stimulating.
And so the morning is a better time to do it, and that's when I have exercised. That's when I have chosen to do it, early in the morning. I have somebody who has invited me to come and work out at 5 o'clock every morning, 4 or 5 days a week. And I've thanked them for that invitation very much, but that's just a little bit too early for me. Our guest is Paul Corona, the author of Healing the Mind and Body. It's a trilogy. We just did some videos with Dr. Paul. They'll be up in the next 2 weeks or so. And we also have turned all of our conversations so far into videos as well, and they'll be posted all over the place on Dr. Paul's website, on YouTube, on Late Night Health. So in the next 2 weeks or so, we'll have all kinds of pictures of Dr. Paul and a few of me as well with Dr. Paul for you to take a look at. We invite you to join us at latenighthealth.com and like us on facebook.com/latenighthealth. Dr. Paul, how much does the body versus the mind, what's the percentage of who controls who? I mean, if my back hurts, you can't work. It becomes debilitating. Pain of any kind, chronic pain in particular, it's hard to work consistently when you have that pain. So my question is, what's the balance? How do you get that balance between the mind and the body?
Yeah, it's old chicken and the egg question. Which came first? So stress can cause our physical symptoms, and when we're in pain, it's going to cause us stress. And so it's really it's a vicious cycle that people get into with the stress and pain cycle. And it's so many different symptoms. In the middle of my first book, I have a chapter called "Taking the Psycho Out of Psychosomatic,"
right?
Where I list about 20 or 25 different symptoms that I've seen related, different physical symptoms I've seen related to stress, and it varies for everything. Like I said, blood pressure, headaches, back pain, dizziness, vertigo. There's a host of things I've seen related between the mind and body.
And you say taking the psycho out of psychosomatic. A lot of people seem to me, they want to be sick. We've talked about that a little bit. Do people really want to be sick? Or are they just looking for sympathy?
Some people, I don't think it's the most common people, but some people, yeah, absolutely. They're looking for sympathy, and they like the attention that they get when they're ill. They get attention from doctors and nurses, from family members. So some people are in a cycle of that's not real because of the fact they want attention, and they're so.
Got it. Our guest, of course, is the author of Healing the Mind and Body. It's a trilogy. It's something that every family should have. Lots of really good information in the books. You can check it out at drpaulcoronamd.com, drpaulcoronamd.com, or go to latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com. There's a pretty picture of Dr. Paul right there on our homepage. He's even smiling. We'll talk about that some more. Let's talk about smiling when we come back, how that helps. That's a good topic. I'm Mark Alyn. Dr. Paul and I will be back. Don't go away. More coming up on Late Night Health.